My favorite door wedges through time.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah.
I had this one. Actually, I do have a favorite door.
Don't tell me you have a favorite door wedge. Is that
Door
the one you
stop.
got from the street?
Yeah, Chittenden brick.
Yeah.
I was like, I actually do have a favorite doorstop.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the P-Funk and Fro Show. This is episode 25. My name is Austin Flume, and with me, as always,
Anthony Gorman.
But, all right, folks. So last week was a very special episode. We had no one other than my own father on.
Yes.
It was very special. We talked about deep things, talked about my past. And everything. How are we going to follow that up?
It's
How are we
literally
gonna
impossible. He's going to have to be a guest every time now.
How are we going to pick a guest?
But I don't know. I think we might have a good idea.
For the first time in P-Funk and Fro history, we have two guests.
Yeah, and I thought like we had four before, but it just never came together.
Nope,
So this
your
is
memory's
like kind
terrible.
Of, yeah.
Memory's bad.
At episode 25, and are you going to introduce?
Well, yeah, I was going to.
Okay.
On my right is one Cheyenna King.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop. And on my left, the owner of the very house that we sit in.
The studio owner.
Yes.
We have the studio owner.
Is my roommate Faris Ahmad.
All right.
You want to say anything a little
Oh,
bit
yeah,
closer to the mic?
All right.
Thank you guys for joining us. So, gonna start off with some introductions. We met each other. It's kind of an interesting, like, 6 degrees of separation how we all met.
Yeah.
It's kind of a miracle that we're all sitting in this basement together recording.
Oh, a miracle.
So we're gonna start talking with Cheyenna.
Yeah.
We kind of met the same way that you and I met, Anthony.
Okay.
We started in the same department.
Yeah.
So 2 years ago, my rose-tinted glasses still on, my first full-time job ever. I walk into DRP, and you're there on the other side of the room, and with you as well, Cheyenna's over there somewhere. So we had the same job. She doesn't work with us any longer, but for that brief period of time, we worked in the same job. But before that, you didn't always live in the Cincinnati area. And this is something I've actually always kind of been curious about. You came from a different state.
With a cool name. A town with a cool name.
Does it?
Paducah.
Paducah?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm from Kentucky. That's as far west in Kentucky as you can go. It's
Really?
about 5 hours southwest of Cincinnati.
Dang, that's crazy. I actually, for some reason, I thought you were from Georgia.
Why?
I don't. I feel like someone told me that before.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
No, I don't know.
So,
I've heard of Paducah once outside of Cheyenna, and it was like on a news story, and it was
Really?
like some guy like stabbed someone or something.
Don't say that. It's
Yeah,
really,
it was something. No, I mean like it was something in the news, like in Paducah. I was like, oh,
if you
that's where
watch,
Cheyenna's from.
if you watch the news, it's on the weather all the time.
Oh,
It
really?
is.
It is.
Why does it have like horrible weather or what?
It rains a lot there.
Really?
Mm.
is it like the Seattle of Kentucky?
Oh my God.
No, I don't want to say that.
With a bunch of hipsters like drinking coffee.
Yeah.
It always rains out. Oh, with Kentucky accent though.
Yeah. So
Go ahead and try your Kentucky
I
accent.
was not. I always tried. And I was like, nope.
that's bad. So you guys have been friends for like a very long time. Like Anthony was there
Yeah,
a long
5
time
years.
before I got to DRP,
Mm-hmm.
and you guys.
We
hung out
actually have
lot.
been a part of a wolf pack for about 5
That's
years
right.
now.
Yeah,
So a wolf.
yeah.
So tell me about this wolf pack.
So when we started at P&G,
Yeah.
we got placed in a carpool together on our first road trip to Lima.
Because we
And-
onboarded together
Yeah.
and we were doing like a site trip.
Yep. So it was me, him. Shout out to Cal
Cow
and
battle.
Shout out to Cal.
and Dave. Good old Dave.
Yep.
And
Dave Thomas.
Dave McDowell.
Dave McDowell.
I was gonna say.
Dave McDowell.
So not the
and
Dave from
we're in the
P-Funk and
same vehicle riding up to Lima together, and I don't know. There was just this tight bond from the get go.
Well, you kind of started because you like you like imposed our name. You're just like, we're the wolf pack. I can't remember where I was just like, all right,
I
we're the
just
wolf
got
pack now.
yeah. It was like 6 a.m. that morning. And we're supposed to be driving up, and I was probably the last one that pulled up, and I got in,
Yeah,
and
I
I was
think
really like trying to pump everybody up and talking. I'm like, man, like
Yeah, you definitely came energetic. That's for sure. I
Yeah.
do remember that. Yeah.
I was like, I think we're gonna be a wolf pack, and it stuck.
Yeah, and like Dave was like designated driver. He's like, I'll just drive. Like, so we're like,
Yeah, I
all right.
think he thought I was crazy.
Were you born in Paducah or you raised in Paducah?
I was born and raised in Paducah. I lived there until I went to college. Yeah.
Was that like a small town? Like how many people were in
It's-
your school? Was it
It's
kinda
really
bigger?
not that small, but no,
Really?
I graduated with like 100 kids.
That's
So
not that
our
bad.
entire high school had maybe 500 tops.
Because
Okay,
yours was
gotcha.
smaller than
But
that, right?
Paducah's
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
big.
Okay, gotcha. I just never heard of it. And like for some reason, when I think Kentucky, I just automatically think like small town
Yeah.
or whatever.
It does have a very small town feel though.
Gotcha.
Lots of rural. Lots of people driving in from out of town. Like high school people?
Mm,
No?
not really.
I guess we'll also we're out to take a road trip
Yes, we are. To
Okay.
Paducah?
or something.
Is there
The
anything?
Seattle of Kentucky. Would
Is
you
there
go?
a subway there or something at least?
No, that would be a negative.
Is there a what?
A
subway?
No.
I don't know how big this place
We
is.
have the National Quilt Museum, so if you are a
Oh,
quilter or know a quilter,
That's amazing.
I'm sure they've heard of Paducah.
I actually won a quilt at a car show when I was in like 7th grade because I bought a ticket from this girl that I had a crush on. Turns out to be a winner. So for everyone out there, follow your dreams.
Do you still?
He still cuddles under that quilt
Do
every
you
night.
still
Right
have
over
that?
there.
Shut up.
It's
You
right
still
over
have
there.
it?
Yeah, dude, yeah. It's right
Oh
over
my
there.
God.
It's like folded up.
That's awesome.
It's
It's on his
I've
bed.
seen it.
Yeah, Forrest has seen it.
Forrest has seen
It's a
it.
pretty sweet quilt.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Forrest, you're also from a different state, but you're from a multitude of different places. So let's go down the road of like starting from your birth.
The story. Start.
That's usually where it starts.
I guess-
typically.
Well, I guess, I mean, we'll start there.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, I was born in Chicago, moved to Miami when I was 8 months old. So I was pretty much raised most of my life in Miami. But
Okay.
I mean, I was first generation here in the United States. So
Yeah.
my mom is Peruvian. My dad's half Colombian, half Palestinian. Somehow they
Wow.
met somewhere in Chicago
Dang. That's crazy.
and they had me. So,
And they.
and then my family decided they can't take the cold and they need to go to Florida. So then most of my life's been in Miami.
Gotcha.
Well,
Because that
that's
was going to
cool.
be my next question. Why'd you guys move to Miami? But it was for the cold.
Yeah, my aunt found her love in Miami, and then
Oh, I see.
my family went to visit, and then they're like, "We need this hot weather."
Oh my
And
God.
the whole family moved from
Right.
Chicago to Miami. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So, and then you ended up in Cincinnati. So what happened?
2
there?
years ago, I came full time. So I came a couple summers before that, interning for Procter and Gamble, and then I was like, "Yeah, this is, I guess, the next phase of my life."
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
it's I mean, it's what you make it, right? It's definitely different culture. I don't mind the cold. I like the cold.
Oh really?
Mm.
Yeah, I like.
Oh, really?
I have, if you got good gear for it, I think
Right.
you
Yeah.
can kind of go through anything. But
I mean,
Yeah, you got a big coat. You're good.
growing up,
basically.
did you see like snow, and was that kind of like a new thing up here?
actually, first time I saw snow was as an intern, probably 3-4 years ago.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Although I was every time I went back to visit the family in Chicago, because I've got like all the Arab side of the families in Chicago. So every
Okay.
time I go back, it was never like during winter, so I never got to see snow.
Oh wow.
Until I was in
I've always wondered that
Cincinnati.
because like I always grew up like just with we just go sledding
Right.
and that's just what you do.
Yeah, it was like 4 years ago. I was in Westchester. I was working at the time for GE Aviation, interning for GE Aviation, and I remember looking out at
Oh,
the
so this is
mirror,
like
and
your
I
first-
saw the snow, and I started running outside, and I started touching it for the first time.
Oh my god.
Everybody thought I was a weirdo. Yeah.
Were you like dancing and
Yeah,
like,
just
oh my
pretty
God.
much.
Did you make
Yeah.
snow angels and stuff?
No, there wasn't that much snow. Not yet. It was like it was like sprinkling snow.
Dang, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But then the
Still.
first time there was snow on the ground, you did snow angels, right?
The first time there was snow was actually when I went to the Smoky Mountains. I did a backpacking trip, and it was like after Hurricane Sandy or something. So the snow already fell. So like there was a bunch of snow on the floor, and yeah, I definitely did
Awesome.
snow
Like-
angels there. That was pretty amazing.
That's
Winter
awesome.
Wonderland. It sounds like.
Oh,
Yeah, no
yeah,
doubt. That's what it
good.
sounds like.
Yeah.
So, how did you land that job at GE Aviation? It sounds like you've had a lot of different careers.
Well, I mean, they're all internships. So yeah, I mean, I was a mechanical engineer. I really needed to get some sort of internships under my belt, and nobody wanted me because always the first one's the hardest.
Oh yeah,
But
Mhm.
P&G said yes, and once P&G says yes, and you have that on your resume, it's
Yeah.
like
You're
good
friggin'
to
there.
go.
You're good to go. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
So then from there, I did GE Aviation. So I did 3 summers with P&G, and then I took a fall off for GE Aviation in Cincinnati. So I kind of had a good time in Cincinnati, getting a feel for it.
Uh-huh.
And then I did Boeing in Seattle, which was more of like I was ready for the full-time offer for P&G, and I had it. It was just I really wanted to see another company, and I wanted to see what it's like to live in the West Coast.
Mhm.
And
So-
I'm a hippie at heart, so I was like, I need to
Respect.
kind
Oh,
of go
So
so
how
how
did-
do you like Seattle? Yeah.
Seattle.
Because I fell in love with it. So I don't. I mean, say
So
like
I-
honestly.
I mean,
like,
honestly,
Yeah,
Yeah.
honestly. Yeah.
I love it, and I hope nobody's hearing me from P&G.
Oh, yeah.
P&G right now.
Oh, they're not gonna be offended.
No.
I definitely love
It's
it.
not like you're saying you hate everyone you work
no,
with.
no. So I definitely love it. I love the culture. I've realized I very much I'm used to like living closer to the coast. I feel like it's more of a melting pot, more like diverse,
Yeah,
and
naturally, right.
I guess I'm diverse myself. So I mean, it's all good. It's just different kind of vibe, you can say, and I'm definitely a hippie at heart. So
That's cool.
so I guess I can fit in a little bit more. And there's obviously the mountains. So I love mountains. I love hiking. I love backpacking. So, but I mean, it's all good. PNG is awesome opportunity, and I'm able to travel a lot. So I was just in Yosemite a week and a half ago. So
Cool.
Yeah, you're
Yeah, I
nice.
saw you in
I
an
still get my
airport
mountains.
actually.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
how the heck did that happen?
I think it was coming back from Virginia Beach.
Okay.
And like I saw you get like your duffel bag backpack, and I was like, I think that's Fars. What the
yeah?
hell? So you must have a lot of travel.
I was probably in my zone too. So if you
I
saw,
think you had,
if we
yeah.
made eye contact and
No,
I
no, no.
completely ignored you, I'm sorry. It's just
No, I think I
okay.
saw your half face, and then I
Okay.
like saw the other side. I was like, yeah, that's him.
Yeah. Okay.
That's awesome.
Cool.
That's really interesting. So you talk about like the cultures and the different cultures. What was it like growing up in the middle of kind of two completely different cultures? So you say you're Peruvian and also Arab, right?
Yeah.
So how did those
and I
two
guess you could
intersect?
say so. There's that, and then growing up in
yeah.
the USA, right? So I guess it's
Right.
like a mix. So it's, I mean, USA, as you can say, is already kind of very diverse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Miami's like super multicultural.
Yeah,
right?
Miami,
Yeah.
exactly. Miami itself. Although you could say it's the first language is Spanish, where I'm from, like the Kendall area, it's very, very Hispanic. It's cool though, because like, I mean, you're at home, you're watching the noticias, the news in Spanish, and then you go to Chicago. I see my family, and then you see the news in like the Arab news stations,
Yeah.
and then you go to see CNN. So even in that sense, like you get to see like the news from different worlds, and I think if anything, it helps you understand that. I mean, there's so many different perspectives out there that unless you look at it through all those perspectives, you really don't have a true understanding of what the truth is.
Yeah.
So it's like, I kind of like to use the analogy like, oh, if you're looking at something from one direction, it's like you see a square. It's not until you look at it from multiple different angles that you realize it's a cube, right?
Yeah,
like,
right.
You see like it all fits together.
Exactly.
So just that, the fact that seeing that, I was able to get a better understanding of, you could say, the world. So just that, learning that kind of helps me in anything, right? Because now I see something and I can't judge it right away. I have to understand there's different walks of life. He's doing this for some reason, and you're just more understanding. You're more like open-minded, you could say. So I think that's like the biggest effect it's had on me.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And I feel like adventuring has kind of like the same effect, like me, and like going out and seeing different places and meeting different people. Seeing all those different things kind of gives you the same kind of perspective that everyone looks at things differently. And you've got to go experience these different places to kind of get a rounded understanding of how everything works.
Right. And once you grasp the concept, right, it's kind of like, it's not necessarily like you have to go and experience everything for you to know. It's just even just knowing that there's other things out there and being open to it. It's like, that's fine. You get me? So like even if you haven't gone all over, let's say, the United States, right? Yeah. The fact that you already realize like, oh, you've seen different things and you've grasped that concept, you're already like, you could say open. I don't know. So it's kind of, now it's just learning it all and enjoying the process. Yeah.
That's cool.
That is awesome. Yeah. Continuously opening your mind.
Tell me what you want me to stop.
No, that was good.
Okay,
that was good. I was
yeah.
like, dang, dude, you want to host? That was awesome. Like, dang, there's the deep talks.
Yeah.
Which is like apparently people's favorite part about the podcast.
Oh yeah, we had a poll on our Facebook group.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
do you
that
have that
was
pulled
like-
up right now?
I can real quick.
Okay, yeah, pull it up. So I threw a poll in the Facebook group, as I do occasionally,
Yeah.
with it's just like a question, like what you guys, because we still don't understand why you're listening to us right now.
Exactly,
we don't
like-
understand what you're doing, what went wrong in your life that led you to this.
Exactly. Maybe they're like watching the fire burn. They're just like enjoying the disaster. Just the beautiful disaster.
Right. So
or
we
they're
threw-
playing it for their pets on a loop.
Yeah. We were.
That's true as well. They could
Like-
be playing it for their dogs.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out where we're getting views from.
Find a
I'm
number
just
one
kidding.
fan. So yeah, we threw a question in the group. What is your guys' favorite part about the podcast?
Yeah.
And the options that I put in there were the deep talks, the laughs, and keeping up with P-Funk and Fro. And resounding winner was the deep talks.
Which is crazy.
Here, let me see. Let me count this up really quick. It looks like with like 1, 2, 3.
Some
4,
people got
5,
a little
6,
excited
7.
with the voting.
They did. So 7 people voted for the deep talks. Looks like 4 people voted for the laughs, so that's cool. There was a write-in, adventure stories, that 3 people voted for. Clown hunting tips and tricks was a write-in. I appreciated that. I didn't write that. Surprisingly, someone else wrote that in.
I didn't.
I'd like to announce that we're also going to have a clown hunting tips and tricks hotline at the end of every podcast now. That's pretty exciting. And keeping up with P-Funk and Fro was last. I'd like to shout out John Macery for voting for literally every option. that was pretty cool. So, were you surprised by these results, Anthony? Because they're like,
I kind of was like especially the deep talks thing because we've
I was
always
too-
been kind of goofy.
goofy. Well, I mean, it's
Like-
goofy, and then around minute 40, it usually transcends into like
That's
existential
true.
crisis mode.
That's true. What happens if this is all a simulation?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jinx, you owe me 50 beers.
What?
I'll do it on a podcast.
God dang it! Are you like 250 beers now?
I think you do. I'm gonna monetize that. Just send you a bill.
Please don't. So, moving on to one of those things, though, the adventure.
All right.
The adventure talks.
We kind of went on
We did.
one recently.
We did go on one recently.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
I saw some
Cheyenne
scary
also kind of went
pictures.
on one.
Yes, you did. Yeah.
Same type of adventure a week before. 2
Yeah.
weeks before.
So I finally got to see your apartment
Oh,
in your
yeah,
giant old school.
Yeah. Old school.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. It was built in 1908.
Yeah, your giant old school building that
Yeah.
has the coolest basement of all time.
Yes, it does. It's
Yeah.
pretty neat. And we wouldn't have gone there unless.
If it wasn't for me.
Right.
Yep.
So what week was that? It was you and a coworker.
It was like the first week of October.
Yeah, so it was like right when I moved in. No, because I moved in October 15th, so it was my first week since I was there.
So-
Whatever it was, yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. You had been there exactly 7 days.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So
Dang.
we got there and I think walked every inch of the place.
Yeah, we
taking
went like floor to
pictures.
floor, just because every floor has like unique like water fountains from like olden times and like.
And the tile work is really neat.
Yeah,
We
Yeah.
went into the theater
yeah.
and took pictures and stuff in there. It was
And then
really
we
cool.
saw like the camera in there, because like previously I was in the theater and like we were just like running around, and then like when
like,
we
a
were in there,
security
Shannon
cam.
were like, oh,
like you do realize there's a security camera right here.
oh yeah, she spotted that too. I'm like, oh crap.
Because he was like, we were in here last week and doing this and that. And I'm like, there's a security camera right here. Did you see that? He's like, we
I
should
think-
get out of here.
Yeah.
Is this
I
like
think-
an abandoned place? or-
So this is the old Woodward High School, and it turned into the Performing Arts School for Cincinnati. It's the oldest high school in Cincinnati, and they renovated it into 142 apartments. And there's like a theater in the center, and it's a really big building, and it's like old, and I love it. Like
It's
the hallways are
sweet.
Sounds
huge,
awesome.
and there's like everything's stone, and it's really
Yeah, it's
neat.
pretty. It's like the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
It's
Yeah.
super
basement
glad I'm
too.
living there. Like,
Yeah.
it's pretty neat.
I walked
So
in,
if
I
it
was
weren't for my curiosity,
Right.
they never would have ended up in the basement.
She's
I'm just
right.
going to
true.
say that.
Were there
She's
clowns?
right.
Were there clowns?
There were no
What was that?
clowns.
Oh, damn.
I'm always sad
That,
when
that
there's
we
no clowns,
found
but-
yet.
Yeah, she found.
She's
China
right.
did find some like ghost portals on the 5th floor. She
did.
she knew
Yeah.
what was going on with that building.
So
before
basically,
I
I was
Right.
hosting my own episode of like, I don't
Ghost
know,
Hunter?
Ghost
Ghost Hunters?
Hunter.
did. Yeah.
I did. I made it up to the 5th floor and found a portal. I know
Yeah.
that's where the spirits
Come
come and go.
So what made you think it was a portal? What did it look like?
Well, weren't we? We were
Was it like
thinking
a
like
door
someone
it
got
was-
or
murdered.
something?
No, it was a little wider than a normal
Okay.
door frame,
Yeah.
but it was just a solid white wall where most of the wall had been broken up and you could see like where apartments had been. It was just painted over white.
It was like I was thinking like maybe they tried to make it into an apartment, and like construction workers like mysteriously fell ill. They're like one fell out the window. And they're like, we're gonna nope this room.
Yeah.
Like this one's
That's
just
seriously the only logical explanation.
that
Wait,
pretty much
yeah,
is.
I agree.
And she was like, now that's a portal, and I was like, oh, I guess
That
that's a
makes
portal.
sense,
Also
yeah.
That makes
logical,
sense.
equally
And
logical, yeah.
There was an entrance and an exit because
Right.
those were side by side.
Yeah,
so I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
okay, that
Oh,
makes
yeah.
that makes sense too.
It's just logical. But by the time we got down on the first floor, Cheyenna found a hatch, right?
It was like a hole. There was a hatch, but
Well, yeah,
I thought
yeah.
when you said a hatch, I thought we were opening something up. I was like, no.
Oh,
That's
well,
what we had to
did.
do.
That's what we had to do.
Oh, okay,
But
so
you
you
guys-
guys had to break in. I walked
Yeah,
through,
exactly.
and I come around the corner thinking I'm going to walk down like the
Well, she
first
sees
floor.
it. She's like, there's the basement or something, and there's like this eerie green light.
was a green
glowing from
light.
it.
Yeah.
So there's a hole in this old building with glowing light coming out, and you look down, and there's this like not really rickety ladder, but it's like an old wood
and
ladder.
it's behind a staircase.
Hatch
God. Yeah, yeah.
and green light, so it's like a Venusaur kind of.
It was creepy looking. Like we would have walked right past it because it was underneath the staircase, and
Yeah,
then
so
all of a
it's kinda
sudden I
hidden.
see this green light, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what is this? And there are orange cones and
Yeah, it's,
tape
like,
all
blocked
around,
off.
and it was
We still
supposed to
kinda
be
broke
blocked
in.
off. And I'm like,
What?
I've got to check this out.
Heck
So I
yes.
go around the cone, and
Mm-hmm.
I see the ladder, and they're like, oh, well, let's go. So of course we climbed down in there, and all the lights just start popping on, and
Yeah, as you walk, they're like motion sensors, so it's like that horror movie where you're going and it makes that noise like tung, tung.
Yeah.
As you're walking down the hall, tung.
it was
And you
super
have to, like,
creepy.
It was freaking
bend down,
sweet.
and like the walls are that old stone, like really old. Like
That's
you can just look
awesome.
at them, you're like, this shit's old.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like,
Yeah.
like this is old. But so there's multiple levels too, so it goes deeper and deeper.
I found a stove where I
yeah,
think
so
they
there's like
kind
a maintenance guy that I guess lived down there or something because there was a shower. You remember that?
Yeah.
And there's like magazines down
And
there
a toilet.
I'm
Yeah.
Boston.
and a toilet and a what?
I'm Boston.
Oh yeah. Right. And when we went down there, we saw some soap. It was weird. It's
Yeah,
just
it was
It
weird.
sounds like there's more to investigate, though.
well.
There
I
absolutely
I want to
is.
go.
So when
You
we
should come.
yeah, you should come
It's
down.
gonna. It's probably gonna be blocked off soon though.
That's what I'm worried. So every time
So
going
you gotta
down,
get
like,
there fast.
guys, this is not gonna last long.
Right.
Like, this is like a secret tour that no one ever gets.
Yeah.
But yeah, when Shana and I and her coworker went down, we saw like the boilers and the big central air shafts with these huge fans that it's probably taller than me.
like
So they're
gigantic fans. Like
yeah, they're
10,
like
12
6
feet
to
tall or
8
something
feet
like
in
that.
diameter
Wow.
fans for like the
Wow.
whole room or the whole building rather.
Mhm.
And the boilers use coal. And when we went down there, Patrick and Austin and I went a little further in past the boilers than where we were, and we saw the coal chute in the coal room, and it has like a rail line that has like, I guess used to have like cars on it to transfer the
Wow.
coal to the boilers,
Yeah.
which is crazy. But like when Cheyenna and I went down there, we went deep enough, and like, so it goes down, you go past the boilers, then you go past the central air fans, and you get to this weird like tumbler thing that is like a cooler. Anyways,
Thing.
so Cheyenna saw like another ladder. She's like, let's go up in there. And then I think you like
Naturally.
made me go up first.
You
You're like,
did
"Go."
because you were like, "Here, hold my beer."
Oh yeah. And for the internet, like people that are used to that internet, that's like a cliche thing for like something's about to bad happen to that
Hold my
person.
beer.
Yeah. Anytime you say hold my beer, you're gonna break a leg.
Okay.
You're gonna die. Or like a jet ski's gonna come in and like
good.
decapitate you.
A
somehow.
clown's gonna stab you.
Come out of nowhere.
Right. So yeah, hold my beer, and I go up, and there's this big like metal door, and it's like, you know, and
Yeah. Yeah.
and I go out there, and there's this like backdraft that's like coming behind me and going like up, and I'm like, what in the world? It's just like this weird feeling, and there's this huge grate above me, and I look up, and I know, like I see the building outside. So we were outside. So we went on the opposite corner of the building, which is a big building.
It's
Traveled
huge.
all the way down in there, down again. Into this whatever, and then we're on the exact opposite side of the building, outside where we couldn't get out. So if
And
someone
all
like,
there
shut
were
that hut-
ashes, if that tells you anything.
and then China decides to scream right when I walk through that door, which is in a video that I haven't posted, but it's like I open the door and it's like, and I was like, holy
That's awesome.
crap!
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that was a fun trip.
Yeah, it was the most amazing thing. Like, and like, it was in your apartment.
Yeah,
Like, it was in your apartment.
It felt like we were
Like, that's literally there all the time where you live.
caving or something. Like you just come back like, oh, here's my room.
I felt like I was in a Resident Evil game the whole time.
Oh, it totally feels like a video game type
Yeah.
feel because there's like no one else down there. And,
Yeah, you're gonna have to stop by and check it out for
I
us.
definitely want
It
to
was
do that.
awesome.
yeah.
But yeah, the time we went, we wouldn't have went if it wasn't for Cheyenna's OG adventure
Right.
skills.
No, I would never like been like, hey guys, let's go in that creepy hatch right there.
I saw a green light and some smoke, and I was like, "Let's
No,
go."
there was no smoke. And like some.
There's like one more thing every time
coming-
she tells us.
Yeah.
No.
There's like a hand that goes like.
There's music.
You
Yeah.
can follow that.
Right.
But I got pictures of like her going down. Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah, and the one where I was opening and closing the,
Yeah.
the door on the stove.
Well, there's one video because I didn't post the video because it's like, here's my bear, blah blah.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
gonna put that. But there's one where you're like, it's right before we go up again and then outside. I don't know where your coworker like kind of the whole time was kind of like, let's not go. I don't know. He seemed like on edge. But Cheyenne like comes towards me with this chair in this like big metal roller basin thing, just a giant metal thing. She's like, "What's wrong, Anthony?" Like all demonic.
Time for torture,
Yeah,
Anthony.
and then she
Yeah,
dropped
I
the
was like
chair.
stumbling towards him, scooting this chair like this,
Yeah.
and then I just dropped it.
And it's like boom, and it like echoes through like. These
I wasn't even talking about
that's
that though. That's funny
Oh.
that you went there. I was talking about the stove that I kept slamming.
Oh,
I was
yeah,
like,
she kept.
I kept acting like there was someone inside.
Yeah, you. Did. And she's just like, yeah, feeding
Holy
the
crap.
stove with human bodies.
Oh my
I'm
god.
just kidding.
But really though,
But, yeah.
But really though.
But it's
for
in
real.
October, so this all like
Exactly.
fits.
Tis the season.
Tis the season.
Indeed.
And this is a cool time to explore that time of year, so everything's just super creepy.
It is, yeah, being Halloween.
And I'm kind of fully expecting to see some like apparitions down the hallway. I kind of want to,
Apparitions.
but in like the Ghostbusters movie type way.
Like nearly heading a
Not
snake
like-
from like Harry Potter.
Right, yeah, like a woman in
You're gonna see a
dress and-
swimmer.
A swimmer?
Oh yeah, because there was like pools in that building.
Did they take them out?
Yeah, the building's huge. They had a gymnasium on the 5th floor.
Holy crap.
My apartment has like 20-foot ceilings.
It's ridiculous. Like his apartment. Like these ceilings times 3. Like that's how tall the ceilings are.
It's pretty.
So you walk in and you're like, hey.
Yeah, the 5th floor
like
had
that.
a track up top with a gym in that, and then there were swimming pools that I remember them saying that they had to like jackhammer all that concrete out to make rooms with. Because I somehow I tunneled in the internet and found like the developer like 2 years ago when they first bought the building, and they were just explaining all like. So they had like a meet and greet because people that went to school there were really interested in what they were doing and hoping they weren't going to change anything. And it was kind of putting them at ease. Like, no, we're going to keep everything like historic and everything. So they're like, cool. And that was one of the things. They're like, what are you doing with the pools? And they're like, actually, we had to like take it out. And yeah. So
There was a guy left in the pool.
My thought, yeah, that's exactly what I said. My thought is the place is haunted. There's all those portals on that same floor, and all of a sudden I see a sign for the pool, and I'm like, look, whoever lives in that apartment, it's haunted. And
They're
each
done.
day he gets home from work, I guarantee he has to clean up a puddle of water in the floor.
That's with
and
like
he's
footprints.
like, where in the world is this coming from? And I'm telling you, it's somebody.
Are there ghosts in this house, Faris?
Happy Halloween. I don't know. Well, I supposedly our roommate yesterday or the day before yesterday.
It was like yesterday after we got done like handing out candy to little kids or whatever.
Well, he told us yesterday, right?
Yeah.
That in the morning. So I guess it was Halloween day.
Oh yeah, this was 2 days ago. This was
Yeah.
insane.
Okay.
I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
so
know.
I was gone.
You were
I was
gone?
gone. Like I was in Indiana at the time.
So I wake up like at 7:30 to go to work. I mean, I typically wake up at 5:20, but I woke up really late this time. The alarm woke me up, I think, at 7:15. I'm heading down, and my roommate is heading out as well, and he's like, "Were you playing music at 5:15 today?"
In the
I'm like,
PM or AM?
in the AM, I'm like,
Oh.
no. I mean, I'm typically waking up around that time, but not this time. It was very much 7:15, no music at all. And he's like, no, somebody was playing music in the living room or somewhere in the kitchen. And I'm like, okay, it has to be Austin. Just ask Austin later today. And apparently Austin was gone.
I was not here. I was in a different state. I was like staying at my parents' house in Indiana.
So I was telling him, hey, I mean, it has to have been something outside. I mean, you heard probably the neighbor or something. He's like, nope, I heard it from my door, which is literally just facing the living room area. And it was definitely not from the window that he's like sleeping right next to. So it was definitely from inside of the house. And he says it was like like people having conversations like on an AM station, kind of like us right now. And he says he could hear it perfectly.
The sound is
The ghost
coming from inside the house.
Yeah.
The ghost was listening to the P-Funk and Fro Show.
That would be
So
just us talking about pizza.
Yeah.
Like,
That's why I thought it was me, because it was my voice.
but we do have a couple rooms here that we don't really. I mean, we've got my office that I'm
That's
barely
true.
not there.
Yep, and I'm never going.
Yeah, and it used to be a little. I know for a fact they used to have their baby there. Whoever lived here before used to have like a baby
Is the
carriage.
baby still alive?
So maybe it's still alive.
Yeah, was there a
You were-
gruesome baby murder?
I don't know. I don't
Like,
know.
perhaps?
I don't know. And then the basement. I mean, we've got the finished area, then we've got the unfinished area. But even within the unfinished area,
There's
we've got
an even less
we've got
finished area.
Yeah,
What?
The
Yeah,
dump-
dude.
the
I've
dump-
never shown you what it
dumps-
looks like.
Dump whatever sump. The
Sump
pump.
pump?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where it's at. So like, I have a humidifier there, so it's kind of really loud. So
Okay.
people can be talking in there, and we won't really be hearing them because like everything gets
So
ready.
you basically have like a homeless community in
I
there?
think so.
I mean,
Okay.
what we're
think
saying is
so.
the potential is there.
And
Okay.
I haven't opened it. Yesterday, actually, I was down there and I looked at it and I haven't opened this in a very long time. And I'm like,
Sounds
should
like
I just
another
check it
adventure to
in?
me.
Should I just check it?
Right.
And I was like,
You wanna go check
I was like, no, I'm not going to check
Basically a
it.
closet.
Austin, maybe they're the ones listening to the podcast.
Yeah, maybe.
You're homeless squatters.
Yeah. I'm just kidding. Shoot, there's like a whole homeless colony.
Yeah, they're like, we love it, man. We listen through the walls, but we download it just for the props.
You should be on the podcast sometime, homeless
Yeah,
group.
well, and we got Jerry. Hey, what's up? There's Ace of Beans.
Jerry's from the street.
Jerry's from the
He's
Hard
from-
Knocks of Kenwood.
Have you ever encountered any ghosts, Cheyenna?
Oh my god! Yeah.
Firsthand?
Yeah, since you like identify portals correctly.
Right.
I just have visions.
Okay.
I can't.
Vision?
I said I just have visions. I can't say that I've actually encountered a ghost.
What do you mean, like
I felt
Like
I
while
felt-
you're sleeping, or like
Yeah.
in the middle of the day, you're just
like at work? Yeah. At work, it's like,
only on occasion.
oh really?
No,
You might
no.
want to get that. No.
Huh. Do you believe in ghosts?
Of course.
Okay. Okay.
I told you. I saw the
Oh,
portals.
yeah, you're right. Yeah, of course, yeah.
I felt the spirits.
About this
Yeah,
one.
she was. Yeah, she was like feeling the vibe. Definitely.
I tried to break out a Ouija board in the theater, and
Hey,
They
I
wouldn't
mean,
do it?
you can still the Ouija board. I'm
I'm not-
sure they still answer it outside of October.
We will 100% go back and do
I've
that.
got
She
one,
wants to
and
have
I
a
will
seance.
bring it.
Awesome.
my
Okay.
mama doesn't let me do Ouija board.
yeah, I was raised not to do that too. Yeah.
Same.
No, seriously, I'm
Yeah,
not.
my mom
I
was
never
like-
really poked at it, but like my mom literally says like no, and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know if it's a Peruvian thing, but it sounds like it's not.
No, yeah, I was raised like kind of like Catholic, strict
Okay,
Catholic,
okay,
and
okay,
yeah,
yeah.
that was a thing growing up. Like,
okay, my
never
parents
play
would
it.
probably say the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's
well,
like
you
a-
said you have one,
I was gonna
right?
say I inherited the board.
Uh,
So
Okay.
you
Where did it come from?
Oh my
Change
gosh.
it.
So I walked into this abandoned house, and it was just. I mean,
It's only
It was
no.
like-
One
It
of my
spoke
friends
to
from
you.
college. One of my
Kinda like
friends
the
from college.
Necronomicon? Okay.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, there was an abandoned house close to where I lived, and
Okay.
I just inherited the board from her.
Dang, that's
It was
awesome.
like Cheyenna. Like,
It spoke
okay.
to me.
Yeah. I mean, we could still have a seance. I have a ton of candles.
We could.
I'm just kidding.
If any of our parents are listening, we're not gonna do any.
Yeah,
of
we're
this.
not actually gonna do it.
But we are.
Also,
We all probably.
also,
All our parents are gonna be on the P-Funk. No, no.
Yeah.
No.
Like we're like damn adults, you know, still getting
Right.
like parented.
and then our parents have like a book club. They start having like a book club.
Yeah, they
because
start
they're
like forming together. Anti Ouija board.
parent squad.
Parent squad. Then they start their own podcast.
They get like 1,000 views every week.
Yeah, like
struggling
what
to
the
keep
hell? Just
30.
talking about us.
Right.
Yeah.
That's crazy. What about you, Anthony? How about ghost stories? You have
I
ghost
think.
stories?
Did we talk about that? I mean,
I don't remember.
I don't exactly like the science side of my brain is like no.
Right.
You know, once we die, we just worms eat our bodies, and that's about it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's still, I don't know.
You
There's
still
too
feel like
much-
there could be. There's
Yeah, we
too
did
many
talk
too
about
many
this
settings and stuff.
'cause
we
I-
did. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, because there was like a poltergeisty type event in Newark, my freshman year in college,
Right.
and then I can't think of the other one. Oh, but there's been a couple.
Mhm.
Little creepy. So I mean, it's to the point where, like, this building of all places I live, this is where I'm gonna get haunted.
Oh,
in my
yeah,
life so
100%.
far. I'm like,
I believe
of
it.
all places.
Yeah.
And like I had like the ice maker going on in the refrigerator. Anyway, okay, so this is kind of like topical with this.
Sure.
So I was laying in, I think it was last night or the night before, and I'm laying, the ceilings are tall, so it's like echo, so it's kind of hard to localize where sound's coming from.
The tallest ceilings.
And I'm laying in bed, and I leave my bedroom door open just because who the hell, no one else is there. And I hear what I think is like boom, 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 but not like loud booms, but it felt like walking on the floor.
Yeah.
But I literally cannot hear anything from a neighbor above because it's like super thick concrete. So I was like, who? And my neighbors haven't moved in yet. So I'm like, who and why is there? And it was far enough away where it didn't sound like it was coming in or whatever.
Mm.
And I just kind of chalked it up to maybe like the ice fell. But that's usually like a
Yeah.
in the
like a one
refrigerator.
instant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was like a 3 thing in succession.
Was,
I
it
was
the
like-
was it the Babadook?
Baba duck, duck, duck. No.
That's a good movie.
Yeah,
that's a
I
really
love
good
that
movie.
movie.
That's the best movie ever.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It is.
So there's a Babadook in your place now.
Oh yeah, so it was like, oh shoot, you're
You
right.
said 3
Maybe
thumbs.
I classified that as footprints, and they had some knocking.
It's a Duke. It's 3 Dukes.
Oh. But I didn't get like covers over my mouth, like oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was just like, well, maybe I'll meet someone. I'm kind of okay. So this is how I view ghosts. I don't view ghosts as like super creepy or whatever. I kind of view them how I used to like talk to bums, like hobos.
You think
You-
bums and ghosts
You
are
still do that.
synonymous?
Yeah, I just still talk to bums. Yeah, like up in Columbus, I kind of talk to bums.
You
here
offer
and
them
there.
pizza.
Yeah, I get.
Did we
get
tell
fed
that story on the
about
podcast?
pizza.
Yet?
The bum feeding me pizza. I think it's Heater's favorite story of all time.
I don't think we've told that on the podcast yet.
Oh my god, it's kind of longer, but
when
not
was
really.
that? When was that?
What?
A bum fed him pizza, or he fed a bum pizza?
Whatever
No,
story
a
you're
bum
talking
fed
about.
me.
Okay, well, I
Pizza.
was talking about like 2 weekends ago when you tried giving the bum
Oh,
some pizza.
yeah, I
so
talked to
obviously,
Cal.
you
That
have
How
a lot.
often do you encounter the same situation?
I just end up talking to bums and involving pizza.
You got a slice. All
Yeah,
the time.
apparently I offered pizza to this dude, and then when we got the pizza that I didn't even pay for, he came to collect, and we were like, no.
What the heck?
But the Columbus one, a bum fed me pizza. So like to fast forward through all the background, whatever, I was
Yeah.
kind of like hippie. Like I'm with you on that, Forrest. Where I'm a hippie at heart. You know, I'll travel around with a caravan. You know, whatever. I got school loans, so I can't do that quite yet.
Yeah.
But so I didn't have a job up at school, and my roommates did, and I just had a bike, and I would just bike around with like a book and like eat, and then like just chill in like a park and just read and just like be bum like whatever. And back then, I was really interested in the sociology and like where people came from and where they're, you know, whatever. And I was interested in just how like homeless people got to where they were, not in like a weird kind of way, but it's just interesting, like how, you know, social dynamics or whatever. So I found out real quick, like if you just like point blank, like what's your story, what's your background, they like they just shut down. Like I'm not, you know, it's more like gawking to them. But I really I was really interested in their story, like maybe write about it, things like that.
Naturally.
So I learned that you kind of just hang out with them and the story just comes out. So this bum, it was on the UDF on 12th or 11th or 12th.
When you say hang out, you mean like for a couple weeks?
No.
Yeah.
I still had to go to class and like take a shower every once in a while. But no, for some reason I like went to UDF and like there's this bum, like he was pretty funny trying to get change from people as he passed by. So he kind of was like a unique way of doing how he was doing it. And so I just sat down and I didn't even talk to him. I just sat there. And then we started talking, and overall I was there for about 2.5 hours just chilling. And
dang,
it was
2.5
just
hours chilling with
a
this,
lot happened.
with this
So it was
homeless
like
dude?
him and I talking, and then I was trying to gauge if he was like actually crazy or not or
Yeah.
whatever. And then like these like Bible thumpers came, and then I debated them because I was a college know-it-all, you know, back then. But it's like fun to debate religion, you know.
Right,
and I
right.
was going through that phase of trying to figure out, you know, if I'm So I had a lot of like religious history background and like
Okay.
things like that. So I was just like debating them. They leave. And then I guess he starts getting hungry, and he's like, his English was real broken, like just cause like raspy and like. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna get a pizza. You want one? I was like, sure. Like it was one of those like I didn't look like that, but in my mind I'm like, yeah, sure, go get your pizza. Like order it here. So he goes into UDF. He's like, all right, I'm gonna order it. I'm like, what the? He doesn't have a cell phone. So apparently he goes into UDF. And he comes back out. He's like, all right, I'll be here in like under 20 minutes. Again, like barely English audible. Yeah, and I heard like 20 minutes. I'm like, whatever. So then we go back to whatever. And he's like, you know, hawking change. It was pretty funny how he's doing it. And then all of a sudden, I like look catty corner across the street. And I see this dude with a pizza box on foot. And I'm like, nah, there's no way. Like, whatever. And then the dude crosses one street. And he's waiting for the other. And I was like, no way. And then the guy like comes walking, and he walks to him, and he knows the dude. He didn't have like a work shirt on or anything. I don't know where he came from.
He comes straight to this bum?
Yeah, doesn't charge him anything, just drops it down. He's
What?
like, and they're like, yeah, thanks. They do the whatever.
Wait, so
and he's
the
like,
bum-
here's the pizza. I was
Wow.
like, what the?
So the bum didn't pay for the pizza?
No.
He just got a pizza for
He got
free.
a pizza. He somehow called someone, and somehow got a pizza delivered on foot onto our corner.
What?
That's impressive.
Yeah, and
You-
I wasn't
you-
really hungry, but I was like, I have to eat a piece of pizza so I
So-
can say a bum fed me pizza.
So Anthony, I need to ask you, was the bum, did you get his first name?
Yeah, Jamie.
Okay, it wasn't Papa. You weren't talking like Papa John or something. And he was just like dressed up as a bum.
Takes off his mask. You passed the test. You ate pizza for a year, and I'm like, yeah, where's the cameras? Like, no, it was actually
Dang,
like,
dude.
yeah, his story was pretty neat. Not neat. Yeah, actually, I don't know why I said neat. It's interesting to me, is what I was trying to say.
Sure,
but
yeah, totally.
It was a sad story. So, like, he was from like North or South Carolina, and he moved up here with his mom into a house, and just worked. He had a car and everything like that. And then his mom suddenly passed away. He couldn't afford the house anymore, so he was living in his car. He was going to work with his car. And then his car broke down or something like that. He just couldn't afford it, whatever. And then he lost his job there. And then that's how he became on the streets. And I asked him, like, if he had family. And he said family won't return, whatever. He's like, they won't help him at all or
Oh,
whatever.
jeez.
So that's how he got there. So it's like a cascading things. Like, if you don't have, like, a backup or family or anything like that, you're like, shoot. Lose a house, then you lose a car, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, and it's hard to get back up when you get to that point.
Yeah, right, exactly. And it's kind of like a downward spiral, it sounded like.
Because it's like you can't get a job because you don't have an address.
No address. Plus, like, he had no more means of like transportation. I guess you can use like public transport, but that's just kind of how he said it. I don't know. But so I normally historically up there, especially since I was like kind of a poor college student living off of school loans, I never gave money to bums. I would give them like beer at like party, like
Naturally.
if I had it, just to be like,
Yeah.
here or whatever,
Yeah.
or food or whatever. But money just because I didn't have it myself. But him, like, his like story like touched me or whatever.
Yeah.
So I gave him $10 because I was gonna meet someone. It was becoming like night out, and I like, I gotta go back to my life. And I gave him money. I was like, Jamie, because it was hard just to get his name, because like they just in general they never like get personal with you.
Right.
Like I would like always go in fast and whatever.
Yeah.
And whatever. And he like looks down at the $10 and then he looks back up at me like wide eyed. And he just like hugs me. And he was like, I thought you were one of like a bum like on the street. And I was like,
Oh, he thought you were a bum.
yes, he thought I was just like learning the ropes or something like that. I mean, I was like disheveled back then. Like I was like, hippie, like I probably like stunk a little bit. Like, I'm serious. Like I just wake up and like, I guess I'll just ride my bike down the bums.
Wow.
But no, he like hugged me and I was like, I'm never gonna forget you, JB. I didn't say it like that, but I was like, yeah.
Wow, Anthony. That's
Yeah,
Did you ever see him again?
No.
Oh.
No. I mean, I probably passed him or whatever, but I never hung out with him again.
That was cool. I need to start talking to him. I tried
Well,
once.
some of them are legit crazy, like mentally.
So I think that's what stopped me from one of them. I think thought I looked at him the wrong way, and he reached into his shopping cart that he puts all his stuff in, and he took out a machete this big.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
And he just looked at me like this, and I'm like,
yeah,
I got in the car and I left.
yeah. Usually I pick it up or whatever, but Ohio State had a lot of like just core. They were just always there, and like the students, like it seems like college towns always have like a thriving like bum population.
Mm-hmm.
But, like one of the most beautiful moments, like there was a lot of good stuff with the bums I saw up there. Like I rode my bike spring, summer, winter, all
Right.
whatever. I didn't have a car up there. One of the most beautiful expressions of humanity I've ever seen was I was riding my bike in the dead of winter on my way to a class or whatever. I mean, it wasn't like below zero, and there was this old white bum that would always sleep on like the center of campus right on High Street and these concrete benches. And it was like super cold out, but he was like super blanketed and whatever, and he was always there. And I remember riding class and I was like a little late, and I saw this like girl student bending down giving him a sandwich, and I was just like, and that like snapshot, I was like as I rode on, I was like, oh, that was like one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen.
Right.
Like if I could like photograph that from like afar.
Yep.
Because she didn't know that I saw it. It was just like I just happened to look
Completely
over
candid.
and it like snapped in my brain like a picture. It was like,
Yeah.
I was like, and then I didn't, once I thought about it, I was like, that was one of the most beautiful. So,
That's neat.
like, I just, like,
Yeah, that is
I don't
really
know.
cool.
I had, like, an affinity for all that culture and everything like that.
That's
That's
cool.
amazing.
And that was a long bum story. But yeah.
That was a long bum
Yeah.
story. It was a good one, though.
That was good.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be right back with episode 25 of the P-Funk and Fro Show. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, with episode 25 of the P-Funk and Fro Show. Once
Oh,
again,
Is that how you do this? Like you just
Yeah, they just kind of slam right into it.
basically.
It's the most easy way.
Basically, if you want to join the Facebook group, that's facebook.com/groups/pfunkandfro. We got a lot of good conversations in there. We had that poll last week. Cheyenna showed me a picture of
A headless
a
lady.
headless-
It's a little girl.
What, that whole
it's-
thing is the girl?
oh.
Yes, that is a little girl.
So everything
Oh my
on top is
God.
like
That's a good costume.
That is a
Because
small
it
child.
works. Because
Yeah.
she's
That's
probably
awesome.
like,
Isn't it?
she's
That's
probably
the
like
best.
4 foot tall, so it
Yeah.
makes it look
What
like
the
an adult.
heck?
Yeah.
I've literally never had a costume near as good as that.
Yeah,
costume.
I know. I was very impressed.
Yeah, I've done the Army Man thing like Anthony did.
yeah, I did.
Because
Well,
that's easy. You just wear camo and you're friggin'
well,
expensive.
I wore my dad's Vietnam shirt. It had Gorman on it,
Oh,
like
cool
from
shit.
like the 70 or whatever.
Yeah, when I did the Army Man thing, it was just like my friend had extra stuff in his closet.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah.
it was on the turning point between like, do I still want to dress up for Halloween or do I not? So I said no.
Yeah.
So I didn't get a costume. And then I was like all sad and bummed out. And he's like, you can have my Army Man stuff.
Oh,
I was like, thanks. So
Yeah.
I was an army man that year.
that's cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
like I said, like I already had the Kevlar helmet, and you were like, "Of course you do."
Yeah.
Like, I remember you were like,
A
"Of course you
Kevlar
do."
helmet that you got from like an army surplus store.
Well, I went to the same surplus store to match pants with my dad's whatever.
Yeah.
And so I told the lady, I was like, I'm gonna go out and get my shirt just so she didn't think I like took something, whatever.
Yeah.
And I brought it in, and she instantly pegged it. We don't have anything Vietnam era. I was like,
Oh wow.
All right.
She just knew immediately.
yeah, she was. I mean, I think she's like part owner or whatever. Yeah, Army surplus owners, they're a different type of people. They're like hardcore. They're
I
like
imagine.
gun nuts, like they probably have like cannons in their yards. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, I brought it up and she like did like the the Pawn Stars type thing. So she like set it down. She's like, this is in good condition, whatever. And she like unbuttons it. She's like, all the buttons are there. And she opens it. The tag is in good spot. And she's like, yeah, you could. And she's like,
So did she
feeling it.
give you an appraisal?
Yeah, I mean, not an official one, but she was like, well, she was concerned that I was wearing it for like a Halloween party. And she was like, yeah, you definitely don't want to spill anything on this. And then if you get it dirty, dry clean it. Ask around for antique dry cleaners. There's special ones. And she's like, I would actually frame this for your father. She like went way deep in it. And she was like, you could probably get this at auction. I'm not even joking. She said this. And I was like, what are we talking here? How many zeros are we talking about? I'm just kidding. But then she's like $75, $100. So I was like, that kind of makes
yeah.
But for like old military or
Sure.
whatever.
Yeah.
She just says she's actually went down along like history of it. It was pretty neat. She said Vietnam era stuff is worth more because when they came back from the Vietnam War, it wasn't like a positive thing. So no one ever wanted to wear it out in public like the World War II
yeah,
people.
because everybody
Yeah.
was against it.
Yeah, World War II people kept everything, like literally
Right.
everything. And then Vietnam, a lot of it just went right in the trash. So there's really
yeah.
hardly any of it compared to like the other wars. So I
Right,
was
that
like,
makes
oh
sense.
shoot, I didn't even think of it.
Damn.
My dad was a generator mechanic in Hawaii. So
Right.
he went to Guam too, but yeah.
That's neat.
He must have been a thin dude because I like barely fit into it. But I guess he was like 1920 when he was wearing it too. So, but yeah, I just like how it has Gorman on it, the electric strawberry patch. It's cool.
Electric
That's
strawberry.
pretty BA.
That's what they were. It was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Even though I had a Kevlar helmet for Desert Storm 1. So
yeah, nobody's gonna
totally not matched. If someone's like, nice Desert Storm 1 with that Vietnam get up.
Yeah. Just don't wear it in the army surplus store and you should be fine.
That's right.
You won't get called out for it.
Exactly.
There's not going to be like a little baby Donald Trump on the street like, you're wearing the wrong army.
Be like, shut up, Donald.
He'd be like,
So have you been to Hawaii?
No, I have not. I
is
would
it on your
love
list
to.
of places to go?
Me?
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to, but yeah. I honestly, one of the main things I want to go to Hawaii is not the beaches. It's the observatory on the top of the big mountain. So when you go above the cloud line, not this. Every podcast I bring up Joe Rogan Experience, I'm doing it again. Joe Rogan.
Weekly plug.
Yeah, weekly plug.
Listen to the Joe Rogan Experience, everyone.
We're not sponsored by him.
Yet.
But he said one time he went there and he went up to the observatory and he said it felt like you were on a spaceship hurling through space because there was so many stars because there's no light pollution. Like on the Big Island,
Wow.
I guess apparently like even the street lights have like that anti-light pollution thing. Right. And he said it's just like humbling and it like changed his whole view of being on this planet basically. So I was like, oh my God, me and like stars, like in Put in Bay, I was like, oh my God, it's the Milky Way. Like,
Yeah.
I
exactly.
love the stars, yeah
Yeah,
and
it's
like just
amazing.
space in general. So that would be one of the things. Like if I ever went to Hawaii, that would be like, oh, I gotta do that.
100%. You've been to Hawaii first?
Yeah. So when I was in Seattle, I was like, I'm never gonna be this close to Hawaii.
Oh.
I couldn't find somewhere to go, and it was
Yeah.
like very last minute. I was just like, let's just do it. So I got a flight. It was 4-hour flight, I think.
Oh,
my
wow,
God, that would be so
From
awesome.
there?
And I took my tent with me. And
Was it a solo trip or-
It was a solo trip. It
Cool.
was very much just ridge hiking. Took showers on the beach.
I am
Slept
so
on
jealous.
slept on the beach. Yeah.
That is sit with like a tent. and
Yeah, with my
everything?
tent. Yeah, so I had all my stuff.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
That sounds so amazing.
But then so
I would
before
love to-
going there, I was very much like it was very last second. So I was just like, let me look online. Are there campgrounds? Like you can reserve maybe beach campgrounds, and there were some for like I think it's $15 a night or something.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, let's do it. And then I get to it very late at night because I was hiking all day, and I see a lot of people. I'm like, okay, I guess there's a lot of people here. But then I started realizing I think these people live here, and then I started realizing I think these are just so much homeless people.
Oh, that's awesome. And then you slept with the bums.
Yeah, pretty much. And then I go to the bathroom, the whatever bathrooms they have there, you can call them bathrooms. And then there was like 2 random people talking about how they just stole this backpack from this kid, and I'm like,
Oh,
okay, what's
no.
going on? So, anyways, I went to sleep real quick, and then
That's good. Close your eyes and they'll disappear.
so I would always go. So I'd have a car, so I had rented a car, so I'd still
Okay.
go and do all my stuff, and I'd only go. I'd unpack. Usually, you leave your tent. I was like, I'm not leaving my tent here.
Oh, I see.
I throw everything back in the car, and then I just come at night and sleep there.
That's cool though.
But it was cool. I mean, waking up and you're right there next to the sand and the
Just sleeping with the ocean.
Yeah,
noise.
it's amazing. It's
I
amazing.
was gonna
Nice
say I
sky.
don't have a
I
cool
would
story like
love
that
that.
for Hawaii, but I
Yeah.
was gonna say I slept on the beach. I did that with
Oh,
a friend back in
Oh, yeah?
college.
Really?
with bums.
We just went no, not with bums.
That's the theme of this podcast, by the way.
The
We
bum
didn't bring a
theme, the
tent or
bumcast.
anything. The first night we slept in the car, and then we did have someone. I guess I don't know. They thought we passed out or something, so it terrified us. So we were up at dawn.
Was this in Hawaii or somewhere like?
No, I haven't
No,
been to
this
Hawaii.
is-
That's what I said. This story is
Where
not
was this?
near
What-
as cool.
What beach? I mean,
um,
beach sleeping sounds
We
fun.
were
Yeah.
in the Gulf, so we drove straight down to Alabama and
Okay.
Gulf Shores, and then we went through to Florida. We ended up, I think, our last stop we got to Panama,
Okay.
but we kind of just each day would
I was
travel
just
a little
wondering
piece.
what beach. Yeah.
Yeah, several different. Like the first day was in Gulf Shores, then we went to Navarre Beach, then I think Destin in Panama. But we slept on the beach on a towel.
That's awesome.
Got woken up several times because the water, like high tide, was coming in.
Oh shoot.
Yeah, so that was very like you finally go to sleep.
cool.
You
That's
finally
so
go to
awesome.
sleep.
Wow, and then you get
Then all of a
wet.
sudden, like you're soaked. And I
Yeah.
woke up the first time laughing, and then the second time it happened, I was pissed.
Yeah. All right, that's enough.
Yeah.
That's enough ocean.
So you didn't
Yeah,
even
we
have a
did.
tent; it was just a towel.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And we definitely showered at the rinse off stations, and
Yeah.
yeah, it was a fun trip though. Absolutely.
Yeah, I love that.
It's
kind of
cool to
trips.
just go out like that every once in a while.
Yeah, and
With
just
no
like wing
hotel.
it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
But
Yeah, I
I mean,
love that.
I guess it could be dangerous, right? Like the bus driver on the way back to the airport, I told him where I stayed, and he's like, "What?" And he's like, "That's known for like that's where the crackheads are at. That's where I'm like, okay, I didn't know this, but
Holy
yeah,
crap.
Yeah.
You're holy crack.
I was in a
Wow.
very touristy area. I felt pretty
okay,
safe.
okay.
Wow.
But the funny thing was though, when I did go to shower, like I was sitting there thinking, I should have done this in the middle of the day, thinking I should go at night.
Yeah.
I'm walking through with my like shower gel and my towel and stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, there's so many people out here night fishing because it was right by the fishing pier, and
Oh, shoot.
so I'm like, awesome, and all
Yeah.
these people start walking by, and I'm just washing my hair.
They're probably like, look at that bum over there.
Like-
Like, what- the bums these days.
Children, don't look.
Yeah, children, don't look, scurry on. Don't give her any money. No,
Jeez,
I'm
that's
just kidding.
funny. I don't have any like beach stories like that, but that's basically the basis of my Chicago trip. Like I randomly decided to go
Yeah.
to Chicago that one weekend. and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah, yeah.
I just vanished. Like on a Friday, I decided I was going to spend the weekend in Chicago.
Yeah.
So we went, no hotel. We just slept in a Ford Taurus in a Walmart parking lot.
Nice.
Because Anthony said that Walmarts are like,
Yeah.
for letting you stay in their parking
They're
lots
pretty
and not telling
friendly
you.
with that. Yeah, I remember because I can't remember where you said you're gonna stay, and I was like, Austin,
You-
don't go to the
well,
south
well,
side.
It
like,
was
don't-
Chicago, so we
Yeah.
were like worried. Everybody was worried.
Yeah, well, I
was like,
wasn't
it'll be
like,
fine.
I don't get like worried, like don't do it. Like just
You started
be
crying.
safe. That's right. That worked. But yeah,
Would you say that's your favorite vacation that you went on first, or do you have other vacations? You just went on a pretty sweet climbing
That's
vacation.
a hard
too.
one. No, it wasn't my. I wouldn't say it's my favorite.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if we have time for me to think about what my favorite.
Okay, that's
is.
fine.
But no, I mean Yosemite was amazing, right? So it was
Mhm.
just
Oh,
way
wow.
too short. I mean, it was San Francisco for the weekend. I went to Treasure Island Music Festival. It was raining like crazy,
That
so
looks
that
so
kind of
awesome.
crap.
That
Yeah,
would-
the music was awesome. I got into it. The vibe was awesome.
Mm.
Weather sucked, but since I had all my backpacking gear, that meant I had all my waterproof gear, which meant
That's good.
I didn't mind being in the rain
Oh,
while
nice.
the music was going, so it was
Had
all
your wool
good.
socks and your rain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all that good stuff.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I was prepared. Yeah, and
That's
then
cool.
it was Monday through Wednesday. I drove 4 hours to Yosemite. I stayed there, camped one night, woke up, hiked up to Half Dome, stayed there overnight, and then hiked back down in the morning. So I woke up at 5 in the morning. I hiked 5 miles to the car. I drove 4 hours to San Francisco. I got on the airport. I went to the airport. I got into Cincinnati by 7 in the morning. I drove straight into work.
oh my god.
I went to a work dinner at 5 p.m. That I stayed there till like 7 p.m. So
Oh
I was
my-
like discombobulated.
Oh
until
So
my
the
did
end.
goodness.
you literally
That's
came
insane.
from like a mountain down to work in like one long foul swoop. Like you woke up on a mountain like, oh shit, I gotta go to work.
Exactly.
See you guys.
Pretty much.
That's funny.
And
That's
it wasn't just a regular work day; it was a long work, like with dinner at the end, with all the new hires coming in and the recruits.
People
coming
are like,
in.
oh, morning traffic today.
Yeah. You're talking about turbulence on your morning commute.
Yeah. Almost hit a billy goat on the way down.
Jeez, dude. And then I came home from work and I'm like, Forrester, back! All excited. I'm just like, Austin, I just can't do that right now.
You're at a level 10. I need you at a 3.
Yeah.
Exactly. I did not calm down. I went down to the basement, just skulked down to the basement, like, oh, you're gone all the time. I miss you when you're gone. But
Man, this is getting me excited for next year because we get vacation reloads. I'm
Yes,
like
we
almost
do.
out of vacation.
I'm completely out.
Yeah, Austin and I have just been like flying around. Sounds like you're like all around. Oh, I love doing that stuff. Now it sounds like I need to sleep on a beach. I don't think I've ever done that. I've been on a beach at like night, like drinking party or whatever, but I never like actually slept on a beach.
Me
That
neither.
sounds like something I kind of want to try.
That's my next goal. Yep.
Yeah.
I was looking at Uruguay recently on 4chan.
Really?
I'm into 4chan now. So I was on the
I
travel
don't know
blog.
if I'd admit going to 4chan.
I'm on the 4chan. Nobody knows.
People
what
don't go
4chan
there.
is.
It's a cesspool of the internet. But
So,
anyway,
I mean, I was on a travel blog on this random website that I found that
Okay.
wasn't 4chan. And
Okay.
I was looking at Uruguay, and apparently Uruguay is a really cool place to go.
Really?
Like
Did I? Okay, sorry.
I don't know. I was basically done. You can talk now.
Oh, because was it you? I was talking about like some funky country I was looking into. I was on like a Reddit channel
Something like
thread.
that,
Like I was
huh?
on a Reddit thread. I think it was Cambodia.
Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned like Uruguay. It's just like random countries.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Cambodia.
interesting.
Yeah, I knew somebody who went to Cambodia, too.
Yeah.
Apparently it's amazing.
It's like a cheap whatever.
Yeah.
Somebody
just
had just posted. I saw on Facebook that they got like a round trip, $400 to like, I think included Iceland, like included New Zealand. It was like this crazy
Whoa.
round trip, and I was
Yeah.
like, just for
Oh my-
$400.
$400?
Seriously?
Yeah. It was
Where
insane.
do you-
I'll get it in a second.
Did
Yeah.
they fly in like a biplane, like a rickety?
Apparently, there's
a
like
dude with
no,
a-
it's something called WOW, WOW, and
Oh,
EasyJet. I think I don't know.
Was
So
it
you're
one
going to
of-
link us up and we're going to plan a trip?
Yeah.
Yes.
What's going on?
Yes.
I think that's what's happening right now.
Yes.
I'm up for that.
Plane
Yeah.
cast.
Play. We already tried to.
What do you guys have going on in about 2 weeks? No,
Yeah, we couldn't even make it work in a car.
Combined
Exactly.
flights to Iceland, England, and Netherlands, and back to the U.S. is only $421, and I can't even fly to Florida and back on that. I don't
Yeah,
get
it's-
it.
What?
And
that
that's-
makes no
I know.
sense.
Yeah. Is that just the flight or is that lodging? And
I'm not.
No, it's
convinced.
just the flight.
okay, that's
Yeah,
still
yeah.
cheap for
Yeah,
all
yeah,
that.
That's freaking
definitely still
ridiculous.
cheap.
Yeah. So if you could be like on your own, you could just like hostel it.
Easily.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what we're thinking about doing next year for like an Australia trip.
Oh, who
Just
the hell is
hustling
you going to Australia?
Let's really like
Holy cow.
low key. It's not it's not happening yet.
I want to go to Tokyo.
Forrest,
We're
you
just
can't just tell me
throwing-
you're going to I have to go to Tokyo.
I would love
I
to go
really
to
do
Tokyo,
wanna
too.
go.
I just,
You
want to,
understand?
I just want to reel all 3 of you back in. What happened to this group trip?
Yeah, exactly.
I want to go places too, but we just planned a group trip, and it can't be that same way.
We need to calculate if we have enough vacation, like collectively. Okay, we need to go Tokyo, Australia, Uruguay, Cambodia, Australia, New Zealand, Iceland.
And whatever the friggin' town that you're from was
In
called.
Paducah.
Paducah.
In Paducah. And we're going to end up in Paducah.
Paducah.
There's a
Nice.
small regional airport you could fly into there.
Really? Be like a
Nice.
pond skipper. Just flying
Paducah
there.
Regional Airport.
We'll be all
It'll
like
be the highlight.
travel weathered, and like we'll get there like the
what was
mom
your
and
favorite
pop
part?
diner.
I really liked Paducah. You went to Tokyo.
Yeah. What was your favorite
Overrated.
stop? Paducah.
I know, but
100%.
Paducah, they have that great quilt museum.
Yeah, the quilts
Exactly.
were off the hook.
It was the softest place I've ever been. And durable.
Hey,
Oh
don't
my
give
God.
Paducah a bad rap.
No,
I'm
no,
being
yeah, I
completely
think
serious.
It's just funny how we were talking about like Tokyo, Australia, and then you're like, "What's the other one?" Oh yeah, Paducah.
Exactly.
That's like
amazing.
Morrow. Like, oh, let's go tomorrow.
I'm 100% down. Nobody wants to go to Rising Sun though.
I mean, I'd go.
That's where I'm from. You want to come to Rising Sun?
I'm just kidding. Now I'm done
thought I had
kidding.
you. I was
No,
like,
I
we're
would
gonna go
go.
there.
I mean, I've been to Bloomington. Bloomington's a beautiful city.
Yeah, Bloomington has stuff.
Oh, okay.
Rising Sun does
Well,
not.
you've been kind
Are
of
you
in
going to take us to the
Morrow.
house?
You want to see my parents' house?
So you've seen like Morrow. Is it kind of like that? Like both of you have been like canoeing and kind of town village.
did we go into downtown Morrow?
Yeah,
Like, I don't think we
maybe
went
you
to-
didn't. We definitely drove through it.
I don't think we went into downtown Morrow.
Yeah. Okay.
So I can't really compare the two.
yeah.
But I mean, to tie kind of back to the ghost thing, did I ever talk about how I lived in a mansion for 2 months? in
Yeah,
Rising
that
Sun
big
was haunted?
white one close to your
Did I
parents'
talk about
house.
that on the podcast?
Yeah, I mean, I just knew about it. I don't think you talked about it on the podcast.
So basically, like across the street from the house I grew up in is this giant like 18th century mansion, right? And we knew the people that lived there forever, and they decided to move out of their house, and they wanted somebody to watch it while they were trying to sell it. And my mom was like, Austin will stay there. And I was like, yeah, Austin will stay there. So basically, I just paid for internet at this gigantic empty mansion for like 2.5 months until it sold, and I just stayed there by myself.
That sounds awesome.
And oh my god, and I stay there and I cross the street every day to get dinner from my parents' house, and then I went back over.
Oh my god,
that's awesome.
It was great. So I had all my friends over, and like it was like me and 6 of my friends.
Yeah.
And we turned off all the lights. And if you picture like gigantic square rooms, in like an old mansion, all the rooms are like exact same size but slightly different, and all the walls are different colors.
Yeah.
But when you turn the lights out, it's freaking dark.
Oh, okay.
And the floor is all squeaky, and there's an upstairs with the exact same kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we turned all the lights off, and the rule was you could have your phone out and you could use your phone's light, but it had to be on 0% brightness.
Oh, so it's like a glow.
Yeah, and we played Bloody Wolf in this mansion.
Wait, hold up. What's that?
What is Bloody Wolf?
that?
So Bloody Wolf is basically reverse hide and seek. So one person hides in this mansion in the dark,
wolves
and
go out.
everyone goes and tries to find them. And when they find them, you yell Bloody Wolf and run back down to the base. And if the wolf tags you, then you're the next wolf.
Oh, the person hiding has to run down the base.
The person hiding has to tag someone.
Oh, okay.
So when you're seen, you're basically, you spring from the darkness and try to catch someone.
Oh,
so if you can imagine walking, you can't see 2 feet in front of your face in this giant, like, dark house that has no furniture in it.
Whoa, that's
it's just closets.
Really fun.
How have I never heard of that?
That's scary.
I don't know.
It's reversed. Yeah.
Reverse hide and seek. Yeah.
Interesting.
So that, I mean,
that sounds like a perfect setting for that too, because like you just hear a bunch of people going, like,
my god,
bouncing around,
like echoing, and you're like,
everybody just starts running.
It was the best. We got everything.
So Saturday night at Anthony's place?
Yeah.
My neighbors.
Oh
like,
my god.
Who knows, your neighbors may come out and be like, I want to play.
Oh, Bloody Wolf.
Bloody Wolf. You're playing Bloody Wolf?
Oh, shoot.
Well,
that
you
would
keep
be crazy.
hoping that you have just like a apartment party where everybody has this like a party in their apartment.
I'm hoping a lot of things. I'm hoping a theater has like movie nights and whatever. That would be neat. Just like everybody just kind of mingle and hang out. I'm also, a couple days ago, I saw some rooms still being renovated, and I was like, oh, it looks so awesome in there. And they have like chalkboards still and stuff. And I was wishing like we had like a Homerama type thing, like after like 6 months when everybody's settled.
Yeah.
So you can kind of like view, because each room is supposed to be unique. Like
I'm sure you have like a suggestion box. You should probably
I know,
throw that in there.
There's this guy that we caught on camera in the basement twice. He's in the theater like 3 times.
Right.
Playing Bloody Wolf and screaming with his friends, running around the halls.
And he
keeps giving suggestions. This guy like loves this building.
He keeps changing the font, but we have him on the security camera.
Oh yeah, right.
We know all of these suggestions are from him.
Oh yeah, I'm just like security.
That's hilarious. That sounds like a plan.
Oh man,
that sounds like something that has to happen, and it has to happen in the basement
because those halls are loud.
They are.
Oh, in the basement. Oh, Jesus.
Got to find a time when everyone is gone.
Could you imagine the first floor people, like in the existing old vents, just hearing like Bloody Wolf screams and like people like running face first into loud metal things?
Oh my God.
We'd probably get in trouble.
Probably.
That would be probably the line.
But we got to cross that line, Anthony. We got to tempt fate, and we got to do what we got to do.
Oh, man. I still want to go on the roof. Not the rooftop terrace, the roof.
Well, I mean, I also have no risk because I don't live there. So if I get kicked out, it's like whatever.
This is very true. So how do we get up to that?
Right.
I'll just say my room number is 248.
Ooh. Ooh, okay.
That's not my room number.
I think that was the point.
Yeah.
You just blew your cover.
Yeah.
On the podcast.
Dang it.
Oh, well. Well, I'm 100% okay with that. But, guys.
Yeah.
I think this brings us to the end of the podcast.
Oh.
This brings us to the end of episode 25 of the P-Funk and Fro Show. 25. We didn't even talk. So, really quick, Forrest. When you asked me to come on this podcast, because I've been trying to get you to come on this podcast for like weeks, and you're like, Austin, I have like, and then you list like 80 different things you have to do in that one single day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, fine.
I gotta go to Uruguay.
Don't worry. Yeah, he's like, I gotta go to Canada next month, and then I'm coming back. Then I'm going to Miami again. And I'm like,
yeah.
You're never home, and I'm sad. So you're like, yeah, but you came to me this week, and you're like, hey, when's the podcast tomorrow? And I told you. And you're like, all right, I'm thinking about doing it. I think I'll have time, but I don't want to tell you if I'll have time if I'm not going to. And I was like, all right, it's episode 25. And you said,
it's 25.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, pretty much. I mean, yeah, I was really debating whether to even tell you because I didn't want to sell out.
Yeah.
And I was like, let me just go for it. Let me ask him. And then when I found that it was 25, it's like it's meant to be. So
And why is that? And why is that?
So the 25th is. And the 25 is like my favorite number. It's not only, I mean, I was born May 25th. For some reason, as a child, I always wanted 25 was like, oh, that's when you can rent a car without paying an underage fee.
Those kids are worried about 21.
anytime I love driving. I was driving when I was 12, I think. So yeah,
Okay. Dang, that's awesome.
yeah. So I've always been into driving. So anyways, yeah. And then every time I pick a number, I always pick 25. Anytime I win something, it has a 25 on it. Like, I just feel like it follows me all over the place.
That's insane.
have a
So when you
fixation on
said 20,
quarters,
yeah. So the second you said 25, I was like, oh, it has to happen.
Like, this has to be
man.
done.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you
That's
finally
awesome.
came on. And Cheyenna, you were supposed to come on for 20, but Anthony dropped the ball like 8 times and ended up not working.
What?
And I
I just
actually
didn't
made
see
the
a text.
request to be on 25.
Yeah, you
did.
That's
She
what's,
did.
that's
Right.
what's really funny.
Dun,
Like the
dun,
fact that you were like
dun.
25.
Yeah.
I'm like, I will come back, but it has to be the epic milestone 25 because it's a quarter of a way to 100.
Yeah.
It is, yep.
Sounds like everything's meant to be right now. We need to go on these trips too. It's just me. It sounds like it has to happen.
It does.
Guys, I just
especially-
booked flights.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's on her badge. You all owe me like 18 grand. Or
Sold.
1800.
Sold.
Yeah, that 400 it went up.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we're going to go on vacation. Thanks for listening to episode 25 of the P-Funk and Fro Show. Remember, facebook.com/group/P-Funk and Fro. Listen again next week where we talk about who knows what. How many guests are we going to have? Maybe like 8? Who knows?
We'll just keep scaling.
We're
up,
just going to go to a bar and just like everybody in the background, we're going to call them a guest. Thanks for listening, and we're going to be back again next week. Until next time. Later.
Later.
That makes sense. So basically, like, this wig here that I have in my possession, I was gonna go. Okay, so this
Are
is.
we in
set-
the podcast right now?
No, not yet.
We
This
ro-
is like pre-recording or whatever. I'm just
Okay.
gonna tell you because I don't think I'm gonna have enough time to kind of put it anyway. But so it was Saturday, and I was supposed to go to like my friend's birthday party that was like doubling as a Halloween party, and I didn't have a costume. So they're like, you got to do something. And I'm like, all right, what do you got? And they're like, well, I got this blonde wig, and this is Maddie. Like, this is
Okay.
Dustin's girlfriend, Maddie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right. So I just wore this wig with no, like, story or whatever it was. But whenever somebody came up to me and they, like, made a guess, I was like, you got it.
Oh,
So I was like
anybody.
6 different things at this party.
You got it.
So I walked
That's a good idea.
I walked in wearing the wig, and they were like, are you Quicksilver? And I was like, that's right. That's what I am.
That's funny.
You got it.
That's
I was
great.
Elton John once. Donald Trump came up.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. But yeah, what other thing? There was like the Doc from
Back to
Back
the
to the
Future.
Future.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was that.
Marty.
Yeah. So that's the story of the wig. It's a pretty interesting party.
That's funny.